This interview was conducted at the Ad Astra Speculative Fiction Convention in Toronto, Ontario, an annual event. Hello all. Today I'm at the Ad Astra Convention where I'll be interviewing Elizabeth Hirst. Hi Elizabeth. How's the con treating you?
I love this con. I've been to Ad Astra many years. I think it was my first con actually that I ever went to in high school, and I always love it. It's always really good.
Well, that can't be more than 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, it's much longer than you think. I'm very young looking.
Okay. Could you tell folk a bit about your work?
I primarily do fantasy, urban fantasy set in Canadian settings. Usually has a little bit of a scary twist, but I also really like doing kind of powerful visuals and strong themes. So lots of emotions going on between the characters and just kind of something that you really take away when you're done.
Okay, how many books do you have in print at this time?
Currently I have 3. I have Floodwaters Rising, which is a science fiction action-adventure novel set in an alternate universe. I have Monsters and Mist, and that is an anthology of 5 of my short stories, 2 published and 3 original. And Spirits of Suburbia, which I am also in, but it's a mixed anthology about fantasy happenings in suburbia.
Okay, do you have plans for any new literary works?
Yes, I do. I'm actually working on a novel called Distant Early Warning right now, which is kind of a mixture of horror, action-adventure, environmentalism, and the dog is the best character. That much I can tell you.
Okay. Do you have plans for any new literary works?
Yes, I do. I'm working on a novel called Distant Early Warning. It's an urban fantasy / horror set in Northern Ontario. My main character, Denny, is fighting to save her father from an eternity suffering as a burning ghost monster called a Screamer. And in order to do that, she has to face the wilderness and face herself and her demons with her dad.
Where could people access your work?
I'm on Smashwords under Popsicle Publishing, so if you search Popsicle Publishing on Smashwords, you'll get my whole e-store, and we offer a variety of formats of ebook, pretty much any kind that you need. We do cell phones, tablets, whatever. I'm also on CreateSpace as Popsicle Publishing. If you search Floodwaters Rising or Monsters and Mist or Spirits of Suburbia, you can pick up the work on CreateSpace as well.
Okay. What is your formal education and how much does it influence your writing?
That's a great question. I have a master's degree of English literature with a specialty in Victorian and popular fantasy studies. So I actually did my master's work on Harry Potter and the way it is informed by post-colonialism and the boys' school story. So that's probably a little bit technical for a lot of people. Basically, I was talking about how Britain sees the rest of the world and how Harry Potter is a reflection of that. And so I really think that my work is informed by my scholarship because I'm very much into how fiction allows us to navigate our place in the world. Like how we relate to where we live, who we live with, what we do in our culture, and how fiction can kind of enhance those themes.
I hope you know that you're forcing me to revise my opinion of English lit majors.
Thank you very much.
Just so you know.
Okay.
Okay. How varied is your job history, and do the people you've worked with show up in your books in altered form?
Oh yes, I've done a lot of different things. I've done a lot of retail, but I've also worked as a teaching assistant. I worked as an animator in professional television productions. If you've ever seen Mike the Knight, I've actually worked on Mike the Knight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm a 3D animator, so I'm hoping to do more of that in the future, but I've had a varied job history. I was also a writer for a Facebook game for a very long time, and I think that...
So you're responsible.
Well, not for Farmville. I have nothing to do with Farmville. But we
Note, do not send me game requests. Okay, go.
I wouldn't say the people I work with show up in my work as much as my family members and my friends. If you are friends with me, some version of you or something that you do or some little quirk that you have will show up in my fiction at some point. Hopefully not in an unflattering manner.
This is very scary. Does your writing shift around much in the speculative fiction genre?
Yes. My preferred mode is sort of an urban fantasy mixed with horror, but I do branch into secondary world fantasy and the occasional science fiction, but I do very soft science fiction.
Do you find it challenging to shift between genres?
No, actually one of the things that fascinates me is hybridizing genres. I love writing things that you can't just place on a shelf in one genre or another and be totally happy with it.
Do you draw heavily on your own life experiences when you're writing?
Yeah, definitely. Everything I write comes from my heart and something that's affected me personally, and that's why I write a lot about where I live. You know, that's why I write a lot about this area and the people of Canada and, you know, the physical environment, because those are things that all impacted me in a big way in my life.
What do you think is the obligation of the fiction writer in the current era?
That is a really good question, and I think off the top of my head, it would be to show people who they are and reflect who people are and where they're coming from and show them that they can be better. I really think that fiction has this amazing way of grabbing people where they're at and inspiring them to do more and see more in the world around them.
Where do you see the publishing industry heading in the next 5 years?
I think we're going to see more independent publishing, more self-publishing, definitely more emphasis on social media. I think it's already going that way, but I think we're going to see even more of that. But I predict more legitimacy for self-publishers eventually, that there's going to be people rising in the industry even more that have kind of started doing the work on the ground floor.
Enjoy the shorter works of Stephen B. Pearl, to be found in these fine anthologies. And remember the website, www.stphenperl.com.
If you could be any character or profession from one of your books, which would it be?
Oh, wow. I think I would be Zahanna from Floodwaters Rising, because Zahanna is just immensely cool. She is technically a princess, but she is so, like, kicked around in her life, and she lives in a time of revolution. So basically her whole position is gone, but she still has the honor, and she still keeps to the old ways. But she's an amazing fighter. She's very, very much her own person, and I think I just really admire her for always sticking to her guns and really fighting for what she believes in.
Okay, and can you give us a web address where we can get more information about you?
Yes, Elizabeth Hirst blog at wordpress.com. So elizabethhurstblog.wordpress.com. So that's my new blog. I'm writing there as myself. I also have a publishing blog at popsiegelpublishing.wordpress.com, where there's publishing news, a little more information on some of the books, but I also have all that information on my personal blog. So either one of those is awesome.